Hey guys, what's happening? And welcome to another episode of Metal Viking with me, your host Viking. Today I'm going to be doing another anime review. So for today, I'm going to be reviewing Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, the recent 2014/2015 version. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works was originally a movie, and it was an alternate retelling of the original story of the original anime. But this is now a redo of the movie, but with more alternate retelling. So if you happen to go onto Google and Google Fate Stay Night and seem confused by all the many different versions, at least now you'll know which one I'm talking about. This one is animated by a company called UFO Table, and they are the same company that animates God Eater and the prequel to Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, which is Fate Zero, which is also a really awesome series, and I will be doing a review on that in the future. Now, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Let's see. I watched the original version. I own the original version. Um, a lot of people didn't like the original version, but I actually liked it. It wasn't bad. Story-wise, it was good. Animation-wise, what got a bit annoying about it was the repetitive use of reusing certain frames during fight scenes, which was annoying. I mean, when you watch a fight scene in an anime, you don't want to see the same sword slash frame in almost every single fight scene throughout the series. You would like to see them doing something different. So, yeah, basically, in terms of fight scenes and not just fight scenes, just overall animation, this is 10 times better than the original. However, I cannot say story plot wise. Well, here's what I'm going to say now. Now, remember, guys, if you haven't watched this anime, spoiler alert, there's going to be lots of spoilers what I'm talking about, so I suggest you stop watching this video immediately right now if you haven't seen it yet, or if spoilers don't really mean much to you, then by all means continue watching. So anyway, here we have story-wise for this version of Unlimited Blade Works. What starts off like it's going to be about the Holy Grail War, like it was in the previous version, etc., it completely goes one way and focuses only on some messed up new, well, not necessarily messed up, but messed up in the sense that it doesn't actually fit in with the overall plot and point of the Fate series. This being is that for those of you who are new to anime, etc., the whole point of Fate Stay Night or any of the Fate series is this thing called the Holy Grail War that takes place once every 10 years between 7 mages and their servants. And these servants are heroic spirits from the past, or in some cases the future, who battle it out until one master and one servant is left standing and gets to obtain the Holy Grail and get one wish granted. So basically, it's one of those magic shows, stuff you'd hear in RPGs, etc. Which, funny enough, the whole Fate series is based off a video game series. All the animes, etc. But you see, now that's what Fate is supposed to be about. With regards to Unlimited Blade Works, it starts off about the Grail and more or less some of the scenes and some of elements of the story are more or less the same as the original from the beginning. But then, all of a sudden, it just changes the entire. It completely moves away from the Grail War and focuses only on the main protagonist, Shiro. And although I will admit it was an interesting twist, it didn't fit in with the overall Fate feel, the whole feel of the series. It just didn't fit. It was very much out of place. And then immediately after that part of the story gets resolved, it jumps to the Holy Grail, but not in the sense of winning it, obtaining it. And also, it's like the whole story with the servants. For those of you who've watched this series, the servants can just do stuff on their own. I mean, sure, Costa in Fate Zero was a bit of an annoying, yet at the same time powerful foe. But I mean, this Costa is just OP. Like seriously, OP. One of the most OP things I've ever seen in the Fate series, apart from Gilgamesh, and like it just completely took away the feel of what the Grail War was about. I'm not saying that Shiro and Rin shouldn't have done like what happened in the original, is do what Kirei in the previous cities realized what the Grail was and tried to destroy it. I'm not saying they shouldn't have done that. I mean, that is the ultimate realization. If this was not maybe a prequel story to maybe one of the first Grail Wars, in which no one really gave a shit what the Grail really was, they just wanted to win it. So it's not saying it should be something like that, but it just, with the other things that got thrown in there, it does not fit. It literally does not fit. And it's not to say it makes the anime shit or bad in any way whatsoever. It doesn't mean that. It just, it doesn't feel like a Fate series. It feels like I'm watching something completely and totally different. And while it was different in a good sense, it's just, how to put it? It wasn't as dark and as gripping as Zero was. Like Zero didn't have as many fight scenes, or maybe it did have more. It's been a while since I watched the show, but anyway, it didn't have as many as Stay Night did. But Zero was so much darker. I mean, Zero was all about the war and how these mages and all the rules of the war itself, and how everything fit more or less into place, despite the fact that there were all these twists, etc. And each of the masters got their own sort of chance, even if sometimes briefly in the spotlight. You kind would find out about each master and almost each servant's origins, etc. But with this one, I don't know, it just seemed a bit all over the place. However, in defense of any negative aspects that may come onto this, actually, I don't know if I phrased that right. That may probably what I just said sounds stupid, but whatever. Actually, let's rephrase that to basically say the following. If you had to take some positive things out of this anime, though, it would have to be the following. Number one being the animation. The animation is absolutely superb. I mean, UFO Table are one of the few anime studios that really go all out with their budget in terms of animation and even in terms of directing. I mean, the fight scenes in this anime, however brief they may be, they are just well animated, well directed, and it's absolutely fantastic. And it's not just limited to fight scenes, even the simplest of motions, etc. The way it's directed adds to that feel that it still is a Fate series and it's something you'd expect from UFO Table. So animation wise, brilliant. Character development, is also very good because, like I said before, although I was not particularly happy with some of the random things being thrown in there, it did add to the development of the characters, especially with um Shiro and with Rin. Saber didn't really develop too much. She more or less stayed more or less kind of the same. But yeah, I suppose that's just parts of it, really. And was there anything else that was positive about it? The fact that some characters managed to stay on longer was also pretty cool. However, there is the unfortunate side that there are some characters who died off too early despite their very short-lived fight scenes. I would have liked to have seen more. An example being Ryder. Ryder died far too early into the show, and to me, the way they did that encounter where Shiro encounters Ryder for the first time, that was so well animated. I would have actually liked to have seen Ryder fight a servant instead of getting killed by one of the other masters. So, and in the lamest of manners. So, and you didn't even get to see a fight scene. So that well, this is kind of really disappointing. Yeah, and as I said, some characters got screwed, and also the romantic love interest part of the story. In the original story, Shiro falls in love with his own servant, with Saber. Now, as I said, I liked the original. I liked the original story from the original anime, but to change it to this thing, I was actually okay with them changing it that Shiro falls for Tosaka instead, because Tosaka is actually a very cool character. I mean, she's a very strong female character, lead female character, while at the same time she does have her gentler side. So she's not a purely one-dimensional character. She's a nice balance of both. And I think that really, from changing Shiro's interests from being Saber to Rin, was a real nice touch on the show's part. So basically, yeah, as I said, just said now, really nice touch to it. And anything really much else? Oh yes, the music. The soundtrack is the original score is absolutely fantastic. Something you'd expect from an anime or anything really that is magic orientated, and it's absolutely epic stuff. And the best part was that about this anime is that both opening themes were absolutely epic. The second opening, which is Brave Shine by Ama, was the best one, and it's just something that any um, alternative rock, hard rock fan should listen to. It is one of the best songs of this year, one of the best Japanese songs of this year. And I mean, it's so well composed, etc. It's an absolutely fantastic and amazing song. I'll leave the link in the description below to the full song. And yeah, so as I just said, music wise, absolutely brilliant. Art style too. It stayed true to the actual Fate Type Moon art style. It didn't stray or try to change everything too much. I mean, there is a slight, ever so slight difference in the art comparison to the original, but more, you can see more or less that it is the same characters. There's not that much of a change in the art style. It's just some characters might look a little bit different in comparison to the original, especially a character like, say, um, what was her name? Miss Fujioka. Yes. She definitely looked a hell of a lot different, especially in the way they drew her hair. And it's not just her attire; the way they drew her hair made her look totally different to the version that was interpreted in the original series. And yeah, basically, and as I just said before, the fight scenes are fantastic, well directed, well animated, and literally gets your adrenaline pumping when you watch them. Um, I'd even go so far as to say these fight scenes beat any Hollywood fight scene you can possibly think of. These are just insanely directed. The Japanese are some of the most talented, if not the best, directors on the planet, and that could just be me being biased or something. But um, if you ask a lot of anime fans, they will tell you outright they prefer the fight scenes in anime to the fight scenes in any Hollywood film or American TV show, etc. So yeah, basically this concludes the review for this episode. I'm Viking, and until next time, have a kick-ass day.